I was actually pretty impressed with this sneaker. Like, people were like, yo, where did you get those from? I didn't even know they made UA foams. And I'm like, that's just the times that we're living in right now. You can get UA pretty much. They got UA AirPods, they got UA AirPads, they got UA Teslas, they got all that stuff.
I never signed a piece of paper for it, so it could have been illegal. If it's the right thing, yes. These sneakers, I think is right. Should they be still limited? I also think that, right? So it's like you do both at one time.
Peace and love, everybody. Those are the words spoken from the Rizza, the Resurrector, the Abbott. He's got several other names, Bobby Digital. And that was a really good interview with Complex, you guys, so check that out. I was lucky enough to hit on a pair of these. This was the same day the Olive 9s dropped, and I was shocked that I actually hit on them. I did not think I would get a pair. Closest that I've got was the Jordan 1 Pollens, and I made a video about explaining the history of the Wu-Tang Dunks, and it was a pretty good video. You should check that one out as well. And the Pollens were actually a very, very dope shoe. Shout out to Jordan Brand Nike for making this shoe. Like, look at it. It is dope. It's not a Wu-Tang Dunk, but it is dope. And Jordan 1s are a little bit more comfortable than the Dunks. A friend of mine actually customized a pair of Pollens, making them into a custom Wu-Tang Dunk, and they were fire. But for me, there's nothing better than having the Wu-Tang Dunk, the official Wu-Tang Dunk. So at this point, I don't need any other black and yellow Nikes or Jordans. This is it. And what's interesting is they've always been like a Wu Wallaby centered company when it comes to footwear, not so much on the Nike tip. And as Rizza said in that interview with Complex, is the conversation for the re-release of the sneakers has been in the works for 10 years. He just never signed on it until he took that trip to Japan. And for me, back in the day, I always just paid attention to what Method Man was wearing. Like, whatever Meth had on was dope. And he had those Grant Hills on. I had to have the first Grant Hills. And we also, he's wearing a pair of high top ones right there. We actually called Air Force Ones the Raekwons back in the day. We'd even call them Ups or AF Ones. They were the Raekwons. And I actually never seen Raekwon wear them. And it's funny because if you look at this shoe now, to be honest, it's really nothing special. It's just the meaning behind them that makes them special to me. And it took me a few weeks to wear them, but I was like, you know what? There's no better time to go to my man's shop and wear these. And 2015, Raekwon actually made the Wu-Tang New Balance, and I don't really recall the release, and I probably wasn't that interested in them, and I'm not interested in them now. This was the only Wu-Tang shoe that I've ever wanted, and there's always been like a mystique to them for being so rare. Like in that interview, they said that there was like 36 pairs made for 36 chambers, and then the guy that actually made the shoe sort of illegally, they said there was 100 pairs and half of them went to the Wu-Tang crew and family, so only 50 pairs were floating around. And you know, people just probably held on those forever, and they're like 40 G's now. It's just crazy. And the guy that actually made them, he was on Complex as well, and he sat down with those guys, but he said that he had the Iowa Dunks and they weren't selling, so he reached out to the Wu-Tang Clan, not the Rizza specifically, and they kind of gave him the under the table okay, and he just made his own Wu-Tang Dunk, and the rest is history. So they weren't officially made by Nike. He actually got in trouble by Nike for making the sneaker. So in all reality, nobody really won from this release. Like maybe the Wu members that got the shoe, but they really didn't go out to promote the brand, or they didn't make a lot of money for anybody. It was just a dope Nike shoe to have, and Rizza said it was just dope to have the Wu symbol on a Nike sneaker, because Nike sneakers were like the sneaker that everybody loved back then. That was like the #1 shoe. So to have their logo on it was a huge goal for them. But as I show the details of the sneaker, again, it's nothing special. The leather is okay. I give it about a 7. I mean, it's more of just having these than anything. The materials could have been worse than this, and I'd have been happy. I'm just happy I ended up with a pair for $150, which is crazy nowadays. Everything is 200 plus. So for these to be 150, that's definitely a win. But the leather, it's kind of tumbled. It's not bad. They didn't do anything crazy just because this is like a Wu-Tang pair. And yes, I did wear them. I forgot that I actually didn't do an unboxing like I'm doing now. I just wore them out, but they're not that dirty. This was one wear outside for a little bit, mostly on carpet. And it's kind of sad because I actually don't know when I'm going to wear these again because I kind of don't want to. So I don't know if I'll pull them out anytime soon. And it was actually really difficult to find multiple pictures of the sneaker. This is the only one that I could find. And as you can see, they want $40,000 for this sneaker. This is pure collector's type of sneaker. Like, you probably would never wear this. And I kind of like how the leather it has like a raw finish to it. It's not as clean cut as the new ones. And the symbols on there, the Wu logos, are definitely not as embroidered as the new ones are. I mean, they should be embroidered nicer now. And yeah, that'd have been cool if we would have got that box with them. They gave us that black pull-out box, which is dope too, but that box would have been cool. But that's the only picture I could find of this sneaker. And in my brain, these were always categorized as like the Iron Maiden dunks, like the Freddies, like just those rare dunks that you just probably never get again. But those times have changed. It would have been cool if they threw like a little Wu logo underneath the Nike symbol inside the shoe, even though that's going to rub off with wear. And they could have, oh no, no. I'm thinking they could have spiced them up, but no. They kept them as close to the original as possible. It's actually a better shoe than the original. So it looks like they just cleaned them up as they should have. Like, look at those Wu logos. They are crispy. And for me, it's all psychological. Like, when I hit on a pair, anytime I hit on a pair of sneakers that are sort of rare on the sneakers app, I always feel like, oh, if I got them, that means a lot of other people got them too. Like, there's nothing special with me hitting, like, man, those look really good. They did a good job on these. And if you also hit on a pair, let me know in the comments if you got these from the sneakers app. I know some people went resale, which is fine. But these are special for me just because the nostalgia and the rarity. Like, when the Wu-Tang first came out and I seen this chessboard with the Wu symbols, I was like, what the hell is going on right now? Because back at that time, you had this. And there's nothing wrong with the Snoop Dogg album, classic album. But if you look at it, this was the type of energy that they had everybody on. And this took the rap game by a storm. Like, everybody was on Snoop, Dre, this album, The West Coast, and then you had this. And I was like, yo, what is this? Like, they meshed Kung Fu flicks, mafioso in one group. It was just crazy. And the display they had for the sneaker was also crazy as well. Like, this is a real thing. There was real bees used in that display, and that was Nike's, and Nike Sportswear that posted that. They even dropped a shirt that same day, which I really wasn't too interested in. I mean, I kind of want one now because I have the sneakers, but some people just had to settle for the shirt, and that's okay too. The shirt's actually dope, but now it's like Nike's cashing in on it, and so are the Wu-Tang members. Rizza also said that he checked with the crew, and everybody was for it, for the dunks to come out this year around. And again, like I said, he went to Japan with his son, and he went into a StockX store, and he was like, yo, where's the Wu Dunks at? And he's like, we don't have them, but they looked them up in the catalog, and they were like $50,000. So at that point, he was like, you know what? I can't do this to the people anymore. Like, this shoe has to become available. It's still going to be rare, but it still should be available to the people. And shout out to the Rizza for doing so, and also creating Wu-Tang, because it was a big influence on me coming up. And yeah, peace, love, and light. That's where I got the peace, love, and light and all that stuff from. So that's my video on the sneaker. Very special to me. I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.